I wanted to present two different perspectives within the topic of trends from an unbiased point of view, as well as explaining how trends work at the same time, thus giving you the option to decide for yourself where your opinion stands. Starting off with trends matter. Trends. Fashion trends. Fashion trends are popular styles of clothing and accessories at a particular point in time. Microtrends. Microtrends, such as tiny sunglasses or high-waisted jeans, cycle in and out of fashion within a matter of months up to a few years. Macrotrends. Macrotrends change over a longer period of time and have more to do with lifestyle and demographic changes rather than the latest fashion designs. Trend forecasting. Trend forecasting is a field that revolves around the future of a market. Trend forecasters work in every industry. They use data from past sales to anticipate the future. Fashion forecasting is thus the field within the fashion industry concerned with predicting upcoming fashion trends, colors, styling, techniques, fabric textures, and more that will spark consumer demand. Fashion forecasters produce trend reports that product developers use to create new clothes and accessories for brands. Examples of companies that look at trend reports are similar to Zara or Gap. Therefore, they have no creative personal impact on the fashion industry. Long-term trend forecasting. Long-term trend forecasting has to do with macro trends, major shifts in fashion that will be relevant for more than 2 years. These big pictures define the fashion business, such as changes in demographics, lifestyle, and the way clothes are made and sold. Short-term trend forecasting. Short-term trend forecasting has to do with microtrends. Short-term forecasts change from season to season and typically have to do with color, style, and the influence of current events and pop culture. A perfect example of this is Christian Siriano's most recent collection. If you'll take a look at the photograph in the middle, you can see a few wonderful garments that have all been constructed by a textile that says "Vote" all over it. Although the message was very valid at the time due to the current events, the garments have no use after November 3rd of 2020. Therefore, they will make very minimal sales. Now onto the second perspective. Trends don't matter. Trend reports. Most designers don't read trend reports, although several designers arrive at the same conclusion, whether it be an oversized coat or a certain color palette. Being in sync with one another was never their intention. Press/media. Media determines trends. Journalists may see a certain pattern based on what they see in New York, to Milan, to Paris, to London Fashion Week. Although a certain pattern was never any designer's intention, it still appears and is consistently written about. Consumption. It's up to the customer or amount of customers who buy an item that therefore creates a trend. And by that point, it's completely out of the designer's hands. Starting trends. Starting a trend is never about what our incentive is. It's about being seen and heard by those around you. Although it's hard to ignore when you see an abundance of something out there, the thing that people look to designers for is to do what they do, not to follow in the path of what somebody else is doing. Don't worry about trends. Stay true to what you envision and continue to pursue that. And work on finding your voice and expressing it, because that's what's going to make you successful in the future.